everybody. So we are the Hallmarkies podcast, and we are so excited to be here today. We are talking all about Hallmark Hall of Fame. This is very illustrious. Amber, are you excited?
I am fine with it. Okay. There are some things I'm excited about and some things I am less excited about.
Well, we're always excited to talk about these Hallmark films and the good, the bad, and everything in between. So it's going to be fun. I'm Rachel, and let's dive in. The reason why we're talking about Hallmark Hall of Fame for this episode is we had Hallmark Hall of Fame this weekend. The big April, practically the only April release from Hallmark was called The Beach House. And this was the Hallmark Hall of Fame. And Hallmark Hall of Fame, if you are all unaware, is the longest standing television program. Is that correct? Or something in that
Yes,
regards?
The Hallmark Hall of Fame anthology is the longest running, currently airing show.
It goes all the way back even to radio days. There was Hallmark Hall of Fame radio shows. So it's really, really long. To be a series that aired on ABC as a kind of similar to like the Wonderful World of Disney. You know, they would have a special Disney movie. They would have a special Hallmark movie, and they'd usually have all Hallmark ads during Hallmark Hall of Fame, and you needed like the tissues for the ads almost more than for the movie, at least these ads. Do you remember that, Amber?
Yeah, I love the ads.
Yeah.
There are so many, like, we used to have the VHS recorded version of Sarah Plain and Tall, and I loved the commercials in that. Yeah. There was one with the little girl from Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
I loved that commercial.
Yeah.
So yeah, the commercials are amazing.
Really, really, really good. And in my opinion, now that they're just exclusively on the Hallmark Channel, they're not quite as, there's not quite the gravitas to them that there was. They're still enjoyable, but I really wish that they'd get back to doing like sort of maybe more ambitious projects for Hallmark Hall of Fame, like something maybe period pieces, something a little bit different that you can't do on the regular Hallmark movie, rather than just the all-star cast. Personally, that would be nice. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So here's the problem sometimes with the Hallmark movies that are Hall of Fame. They're built up to be so great, right?
Right.
And then they're just like mostly just Hallmark movies.
Right. Yeah.
Except for sometimes they decide to have like a message.
Right.
And I'm not necessarily a big fan of the messages. And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about The Beach House. I have some problems with it.
Fair enough. Okay. So yeah, we're going to dive into that first. We have The Beach House. So this is based on the book by Mary Alice Monroe. I did read the book before the movie. There are some differences. The biggest difference between the book and the movie is that Coretta, or whatever they want to call it, is much older in the book. She's like 40 in the book, so there's sort of a sense of they really missed their window, her and Brett, and getting to know each other again and kind of a thing. And then the other big difference is that you get to know Toy's baby daddy, and he's not so nice. And there's a lot of plot. There's way more of Toy in the book. Before we talk about The Beach House, I wanted to share what our listeners thought. Anderson sisters, they say, enjoyed it, but super confused that Toy's baby didn't age for the epilogue. Maybe she's an alien sent to save the turtles. Which is hilarious. I have to admit, I didn't notice that, but that is really, really funny that she was still a baby, I guess, in the epilogue. A Girl Gone Hallmark says, as someone who left home super young and isn't very close to a lot of my family because of it, this one really hit home. Pretty much cried throughout, but it wasn't all tears. Loved Kara and Brett. Thought they played off each other really well. There you go. Carrie, Create Magic says, best Hallmark movie in a long time. I love them all, but the something about the beach house was extra special. Such a beautiful story with many layers and tangents. The chemistry between Chad Michael Murray and Minka Kelly was palpable, undeniable, and sweet. Andie MacDowell is divine. There you go. Waiting in the Pumpkin Patch says, I thought it was one of the better Hall of Fame movies as compared to those released over the last several years. Excellent acting and story. I haven't read the book, and it made me want to know more, such as where was Palmer spending all of that money? We're going to be trying to do that now a little bit more on the podcast. We'll put up a post on Twitter and our other social media and ask for some of your feedback. And so just keep an eye out for that, and we'd love to hear what you think of the various programs. And so Amber, what was your overall feeling about this film?
Sort of meh.
Okay.
I did really like the cast. I will say that. The cast was great. And I can go into specifics right now if you want, or you want to just do overall things.
Just overall things.
Okay, so that's all I got for overall.
There you go. Okay, great. Well, I actually really liked this one. And for me, I thought that the reason why I really liked it is I thought that Chad Michael Murray and Minka Kelly were super flirty and super fun. I just really liked all of their flirty interactions with each other. And I don't know, just it was one of the more flirty pairings I've seen in a long time, and I really thought it was cute, and I really thought they had great chemistry, and so I was a fan of that, and I thought it was sweet enough, and I enjoy anything with the beach. I'm a big beach person, so I thought the cinematography and all of that was really pretty. Like Lovelocks, I love anything with Paris and super romance and whatever. So that one had a good chance that I was going to like it. The Beach House, since I'm so huge into the beach. And I actually didn't think they overkilled it with the turtle stuff. I thought they used that just enough. It wasn't too obnoxious. So I was a fan. I liked it. So there you go. So let's talk about some of your characters. You have Kara. What did you think about Kara as a character?
So I think Minka Kelly did a serviceable job with Kara. I sort of feel like Kara is super boring.
Okay.
That's actually basically the biggest complaint, is that I thought all of the characters were super boring. I didn't really care about them. It was just a bunch of boring people, not really having that much of a problem that a little bit of talking wouldn't do, but it wasn't played for there wasn't any jokes or fun. It was we're going to be super serious and boring at the same time.
So you didn't like sort of the flirty scenes?
The flirty scenes were okay, I suppose, but I have seen Chad Michael Murray and Minka Kelly do flirty and do chemistry and romance way better other times. So for me, it felt a little flat and forced.
Interesting. Okay. I really enjoyed that. I haven't seen them as much as you. It was hard to kind of try to get Lila out of my head, because that's how I know Minka Kelly. I certainly thought we're going to talk about Way and Back. I thought this was a lot better than that. I thought they had way better chemistry, and it was just, to me, I thought this was more interesting. And the family dynamic. I really liked that one dinner where they I don't know, I tweeted out rich people dinners, and I don't know. I thought it worked, and I thought that Toy was a sweet character. I think they could have done more with her. I don't know.
Yeah, then that's the thing. So it felt Toy just didn't exist basically, other than to occasionally give pills. And I don't know. And just of course she decides to give birth in the middle of the hurricane, but not stay at the doctor. And of course, Chad Michael Murray is the person who finds her. Like, there were a lot of like contrivances that I didn't like. I was like, enough with like gazing at the picture of Russell. We get it. Like, I if you took a shot every time she gazed longingly at the picture of Russell, you would die of alcohol poisoning because it was just constant. Like, just frame it if you're gonna look at it that much. And then, but like, I feel like the actors did a serviceable job with what they were given. I just did not feel interested in the storylines at all. And then the turtles, like, the turtles didn't do enough of like a metaphor for it to be a fun metaphor. The turtles didn't do anything as far as the plot goes, as otherwise give them something to do or reason to be outside. And then the CGI turtles / robot turtles were honestly slightly terrifying and super garish. I do not understand. I'm sorry. I don't understand why they CGI'd a turtle coming out of water that wasn't in shot with the other people when they could have just found footage of a turtle coming out of water.
Yeah.
I can't fathom it.
Maybe they, I don't know. That's a good question. That didn't bother me. That didn't bother me at all. I thought they used the turtles just enough. I didn't think they overdid it with that. It was just kind of a symbol of their mom, and something that she loved. And I think that it was about her sort of resenting her mom and the turtles, and her learning to kind of love that part of her. Even her name is based on turtles. And so I don't know. I liked it. What can I say? I think if you knew that you were about to pass away, I think you would start thinking about things like that. You would start thinking about the lost loves of your life, the moments of your life. Like, that seemed fine to me. I didn't have a problem with that at all. It's not like I thought the movie was perfect, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really sweet, and I just thought I really liked all the flirty scenes. That was my favorite part about it. And but what did you think about Palmer as a character, as a villain kind of character?
I mean, like, I know she's like, you've just turned into daddy. Fine. Like, no offense. Grow a spine. You can't let your child bully you. You're the mom.
Yeah.
So that was ridiculous. And obviously, since she let him bully her, she spoiled him his whole life. She made this problem. And you'd be like, oh, well, she just never stood up to her husband. You can stand up to your kid. That's a thing that's possible.
Yeah.
So whatever. It kind of irritated me that she just let it get to this point. But he's also a terrible, horrible person. So who cares? I didn't like whatever. And then also, like, she's going to die in 5 minutes. So sure, let him have half of her money right now, which is heartless of me.
I just wish that they had, like, Palmer in the book is not as bad. He's more of a redeemable character. He's just kind of catty and just kind of rude and whatever. And he does steal some, but it's just not the same. It's not as bad, and it's almost like a little petty cash kind of a thing situation. Not like this like huge like amount. And I don't know. So they made him more of, and they tried to kind of by the end sort of soften him up by having like his kids be great, and that I think that's what they tried to do. But yeah, I mean that was probably a weakness in the story. Is just like he really should have, like, that's a horrible thing to like steal from your mother. But I don't know. For me, the flirting won the day. I just thought those scenes were super cute. Like when they were cooking and he's like, they do the whole like over the shoulder like moment. And like, they were just like, I loved when he got her off the boat and he's like carrying her. That was super cute. I really, I don't know, just all those moments I thought were really fun. I thought they were great together. So yeah. So how many crowns do you give the beach house?
Wait, I do want to say one thing before I give crowns, which was Toy was played by Mackenzie Vega, aka Alexa Pena Vega's sister.
I wondered about that. I heard I didn't have time to research it. Oh, cool.
So now that they are both # in the Hallmark stable of actresses, are are we going to get to have a Vega Vega double feature featuring her husband, Pena Vega? Amazing, you guys. Yeah. Let's make this happen. Let's make it all a family affair.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, and then for my crowns, I gave this 2 crowns.
Okay. I gave it 4 crowns. So we're totally on different pages on this movie. And I actually have it ranked at number 3 in my ranking. I have it just underneath Royal Hearts and just before One Winter Weekend. So there you go. We're going to talk about The Makeover, Remember Sunday, and Away and Back were the 3 that we picked.
Which is so funny because we picked these 3 movies just thinking, oh, this will be fun. You know, obviously we'll pick the other Minka Kelly movie. And then I like this one and you like this one. And then it turns out they actually released these 3 movies together in a DVD. So if you feel like you want to watch these movies and you don't have Hallmark Movies now, by the way, they're all available on Hallmark Movies now, which is incredible. Go find the DVD because you can get it from Walmart.
Yeah. These are all on Hallmark Movies now, like you said. And we were like, oh, I guess they're just a natural pairing. And we just gravitate towards natural pairings, evidently. We just have that kind of chemistry. So, all right. So let's talk about The Makeover. This was originally aired in 2013. And this is a play on George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion, or My Fair Lady. People might know it more as that, where you have it's like a gender swap, though, where you have your character. And I really thought it was fun that they kept the names of the characters from Pygmalion. That
Agreed.
was fun to me. Doolittle, played by David Walton, who is this like beer guy, and he's from Boston, and he talks like he's from Boston, and I would do an accent, but I'm terrible at accents.
He packed the can Harvard Yard.
Oh, good. You can do accents. I can't. There's really, really strong accent, and he comes in at the very beginning of the movie. Julia Stiles is playing the Henry Higgins character, and she's just lost a bid for Congress because people don't think that she is relatable enough. Then you have Camryn Manheim, who was her last name was Pickering, which goes right along with the play as well. So that was so much fun. And they see this. So basically, the Elliot comes in and he says, I want you all to teach me how to speak fluently so that I can get this job as a rep for a beer company. And they start scheming, like little schemers, and decide that they are going to try to get him to be a rep for Congress. And then that's when the whole plot starts going. And what were your overall thoughts about this film?
You know, I really liked this movie. I liked when it came out. I liked it, and it didn't hold up as much as I remembered. There were some more gaping things that I didn't love, but for the most part, I really still enjoyed it, and it held up fairly well, but it lost some points.
See, this is I'm surprised this is the one, because I have a different one that didn't hold up quite as well for me. But yeah, this one I thought was so charming and so enjoyable, and I really had a ball watching it. I liked it very much.
Yeah, so one of the things that I actually did really like about it when I was watching it on for the second time, is that all of the things that her political people say about her, like they say, everyone sees you as someone who's too rigid, so you need to relax your posture and slouch a little bit. And they're like, you don't need to always be right, and you need to not correct people for stupid stuff, and you need to show more passion because some people think you're a cold fish. And they also say people hate your hair, so you need to change your hair, and they tell her to start wearing sweater sets. All of those things are things she absolutely refuses to do at the beginning of the show. And by the time we get to the end of the show, she actually has adopted almost all of those things just naturally by being around Elliot and him helping like relax her as a human.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting on the rewatch to see that actually happen.
Yeah. And it is really true what they say in one of those focus group, whatever sessions, when they say that it's very difficult for a female candidate, not that we want to get too into politics, but it is true that you're either the prom queen type, you're either criticized as the prom queen type if you're too light and too fluffy, or you're criticized as the witch, not witch, if you're too businessman, if you're too, whatever.
You're either Sarah Palin or Hillary Clinton from the SNL skits with both of them.
Yeah.
Those are the two options.
Yeah. And that still has not, I think that's still accurate. I mean, it's 5 years later, but I still think that's basically true. Maybe a few things have gone, barriers have been broken, but not much. So I don't know. I thought that was actually pretty true. And, there were some nice moments as far as when he's like listening to people about their concerns about jobs and education and houses foreclosing and some of that stuff. I thought that they were managed to sort of bring some of that in without it becoming heavy-handed or preachy. To me, at least, I didn't feel like it was. And and I even thought his like sister was a pretty interesting character. I mean, for me,
I really enjoyed his sister for sure. She's definitely a character we don't really see on Hallmark, which is a strong single lady without a love interest.
Yeah.
Who has children. Yeah. Who is like super tough and sassy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And the miss for me, and I like her as an actress, but I thought that Frances Fisher was a little over the top. And maybe that's not fair because in the original Pygmalion and My Fair Lady, it's basically the character. So I kind of understand why they made her the way that she is, but she was a little annoying to me.
Yeah, she was definitely super irritating, especially where she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fight you, Kappa. Get over here." She was a little too much, but thankfully she wasn't overused. I mean, she was really only in 3 scenes, and one of those was being interviewed on the news. Yeah. So, I mean, it was. If she had been in it more, it would have been worse. But she wasn't used that much, so it was fine for me.
And Camryn Manheim was fun. I like her as an actress. I'd like to see her in even more things. Just in general. I just always like her. But I feel like whenever I see her in anything, even she was in one of my favorite How I Met Your Mother episodes as this matchmaker that tries to match up Ted. It was pretty funny. And I don't know, she's just always good. I always liked her. So she was good in this as well, I think. So what was the parts that didn't hold up for you as well in this?
To be fair, I know they have to have an accent. It's like a whole thing, but I feel like a lot of the times they were really overdoing the Boston accent and also the like Boston colloquialisms. Also, there were a lot of times that she was actually making grammatical errors, and she needs to correct this. She has to have perfect grammar all the time. So it kind of bugged me. But like that's just like nitpicky stuff. But I don't know. I think I might not actually super love My Fair Lady as a thing. Even though I love lying, I just don't really understand being mad that somebody is trying to convince you to become something. And like,
well, it's not that she's mad that somebody's trying to convince her to become something. It's that she feels like Henry Higgins doesn't, like she was beginning to feel like he cared about her, that it was more than just the experiment. And then when she finds out that it really wasn't, and that it was all just, that's all it was just the bet. It wasn't anything to do with her as a person. Then that's when she gets mad and she gets upset. And And I think the part that's always a little bit hard in the Pygmalion book, she actually doesn't go back to Professor Higgins. But in My Fair Lady, they pick the romantic ending, which has always been a little bit harder for me to buy, that she really would go back.
Like, who would pick Henry Higgins over freaking Freddie? Like, let's be real. Right. That guy's like a dreamboat, sings at your house, has tons of money, and like adores you. Hashtag Team Freddie.
Yeah. So I agree. I don't really love the ending of My Fair Lady, but I can still, as we learned this week in spoiler alert to my review of Avengers Infinity War, I can enjoy a movie even if I hate the ending.
Yeah. But I actually like this play on it more than My Fair Lady. Because you can see their relationship grow and that they like each other the whole time.
Yeah. Because I think it's like it's a hurt that like, oh, I thought that our relationship was more, and all I was for you was just like a toy, basically. I was just a prop, and they thought it was more. So that's kind of the hurt, I think, more than I don't know. That makes sense to me. Like, if you thought you had a relationship with a person and it turns out they didn't, that'd be hurtful for me.
Yeah.
People to value me as a person.
I guess this is the thing. When I hear people saying mean things about me, which has happened, I live for that stuff. Like, no joke. Like, people are like, oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like standing there and I'm just like, you know what you did. And like, it's real fun. Yeah, I love that kind of drama.
Oh, wow. Okay. I have been known to get my feelings hurt on occasion.
I basically just don't have feelings. I'm like a robot. Like a snark robot.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So how many crowns in the end would you give this now?
Oh, I gave it 3.5 crowns.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Like, it's a very decent score. It's just like, I think I had it at like 5 or something. Not 5, obviously. 5 is only 9 Nights of Christmas. Even stuff that got 5s previously has been demoted upon review.
Yeah.
No, I think I had it at like 4, but I just didn't feel like it was actually 4 crowns for me. And a lot of that might have had to do with, I don't think I loved the chemistry between the two of them. I know we didn't talk about that. Mm-hmm. It was fine, but it wasn't like stellar. And I think to get into a 4, you either need to be really funny, really clever, or have insane chemistry.
Fair enough. Okay. I would give it a 4. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just charming and sweet and a fun take on a classic story. Okay. So then we had Remember Sunday. And this is kind of Hallmark's take on the 51st dates concept. And basically Alexis Bledel plays this young woman who meets this man, this jewelry store clerk played by Zachary Levi, and they have this chemistry, but it turns out that he's had this brain aneurysm. He was the scientist, and he can't remember anything new that happens to him once he falls asleep. And so this is a real condition, I guess, that people have. I don't know. Zachary Levi plays Gus, and the man who has, so instead of 51st Dates, where it's the woman who's the one you can't remember, you have the man who can't remember. And he's developed all kinds of different systems to help him remember a recording and different things. And this was the one that for me didn't hold up as well. I didn't hate it, but it didn't hold up for well. It was a little, I don't know. I mean, I love Zachary Levi so much, and I like Alexis Bledel fine, but I actually didn't think that they had great chemistry together. And I don't know. I just didn't love it as much as I was expecting to. Maybe I was just really tired by the time I watched it, which is very true. But Yeah, I mean, I certainly like it better than 50 First Dates, that's for sure.
You hate Adam Sandler.
Yes.
I'm just not gonna let you talk tomorrow. I do not like this more than 50 First Dates, and I thought that I did. So that was interesting. This movie also lost some points on the rewatch. But the things that it really has going for it is Zachary Levi is so great. And I think he does a great job. And he's adorable and charming and everything he should be in this role.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Agreed. Yeah. Although I always struggle, I must admit, I have to, like, I just think Flynn Rider, whatever. And it's so unfair because he deserves to be able to play other parts. But, like, it's just my Disney brain, like, has a hard time turning that off. But he was great.
Well, you'll watch Chuck for 5 seasons and then you won't have to worry about that. So he's amazing. Oh, he's so great. And Alexis Bledel does a great job being Rory. I mean, she's killed it as Rory in this movie. Because this character is essentially Rory.
Right.
And her character is honestly a little manic pixie dream girl for me. Like,
agreed.
Basically, she is like klutzy and disorganized, but like super artistic and super successful. Plus, she just gets a windfall of wealth. So, boom, she's taken care of.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but once she finds out that he has this amnesia, she's like, I will dedicate my life to being with you and serving you and making sure we fall in love. Which is like, I mean, who wouldn't want that, I guess. I thought the roller skating scene was really cute. I really liked it.
Yeah. There were a lot of cute scenes and cute moments. And I do think it was a devastating moment when the sister tells her, oh, we already had the surgery.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't work. That is very effectively done, I think.
Yeah. And the girl who plays his sister, is that Merritt Weaver?
I think so. Yeah.
She is really great.
Yeah.
She does such a good job of being like a patient person who's like done this all a million times, but she's not like mad about having to do it a million times. It's just like, it is what it is. So she just has to keep going. She's great. She's so like the actress does a great job, and the sister as a human being does a great job. So I really like it.
Like, do you think that you could, like, if you found somebody that you really fallen in love with, do you think you could do this? Like, just you personally with, like, your, like, I couldn't. No way. Like, I feel like it would just be so hard, just like daily to, I don't know. Like, I can't imagine daily having to go through that and having to, like, that would be so hard. It
would depend on where we were at before. Like, I don't think I would be like, oh boy, I just met. That's it. Though I am reaching the age where I would marry almost anything. But like, if this was like, let's say I was married and then my husband ended up like this, for sure.
Yeah, that's sure. That's a different situation, because then in this situation, he's like, he remembers his friend, but he doesn't remember anything new that's happened to his friend.
Yeah,
that's why he's like, his friend has to keep telling him, oh, we got divorced, and so like, but so a new relationship, he doesn't remember anything about the relationship when he wakes up.
Although there could be some serious advantages to that.
Yeah.
Like, let's say he wants to break up with you, but you're still in it.
Yeah.
And forget that. We are back together as of today.
But also, like, it could give you an out. Like, if things are like not going well, instead of like pushing through, you could just be like, well, he's not going to remember me. let's leave.
Or no, like say, oh, I need to go on vacation. So, forget me for a week. Okay.
Yeah. But I can't remember. I can't imagine literally every morning your partner waking up and being like, who is this person in bed with me? Like, what is going on? Like, that would be horrible. That would be like such a hard life. I can't.
However, I will say, if you were the dude who just found some like tiny little Rory Gilmore in your bed, way less terrifying than if you were Rory Gilmore who just found some like random dude.
That's fair. That's fair. I'd agree with that. Yeah. So I don't know. Like this was very sweet and it's enjoyable. I don't know. I just didn't like it quite as much as before. But it definitely has its heart in the right place for sure. So how many crowns did you give this?
So I gave it 3.6 crowns. And a lot of those crowns are just based solely on how delightful Zachary Levi is.
Yeah.
If there was someone not as skilled or as charming in that role, this movie could be way lower.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, hence my feelings about 50 First Dates. I will give 3.5. So basically, we're basically the same on this one.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay, last one we're going to talk about is Away and Back. This is basically about a family. Jason Lee plays a widower who has 3 kids, and they live, I forget where, in this marsh place, and they find these swans, and it just so happens that this is a swan that is like endangered or something, and Minka Kelly plays an ornithologist who is somebody detecting the swans. And so they interact everything and trying to protect these, first their eggs, and yeah, there's cute interactions, whatever. The little girl, at one point they think that the one swan is gone, and the little girl kind of runs away to try to find the swan. And so that becomes kind of the last part of the movie, trying to find the little girl. And so what was your overall thoughts about this film?
So we're going to disagree on this movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
Interesting. Okay.
When I initially saw it, I was like, it's fine. But watching it after all these other ones, I was like, you know what? This is my favorite one of these. I really enjoy it. I liked the relationship between Minka Kelly and Jason Lee. I love Jason Lee. Like, full disclosure, I love him. He is like hardly in anything, and I would watch anything he's in. Because
did you think that Minka Kelly and Jason Lee had chemistry in this?
I did. And the thing that I liked about it is it wasn't like a burning passion chemistry like we often see. It was like exactly what you would hope for in a widower who was like not quite past grieving his wife, but like working on it. Because I mean, it's like a super slow burn, right? I mean, this movie takes place over the course of like almost a year.
Yeah.
So, I really liked it. I mean, I love the scene where he's like, "You're gonna go, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I am." And he's like, I wish you would stay. And she's like, "I can't, this is my job." And he doesn't guilt her. He doesn't do anything. Yeah. He's like, you have a job and you can choose. And you know what? I lost my wife and I'll be able to make it through. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not honestly one of the movies where they're like, oh, you have to choose to give up your big fancy career in New York to be with me. Like,
I do appreciate that as well. And I did appreciate the way that they did the scene of her not calling anymore. Like, that was pretty devastating for all involved. That was well done, I think.
It was devastating for everyone involved, but super real. Like, their relationship is not, it's not typical Hallmark fare where it's like hyper reality where people are, you know, they meet and 5 days later they're engaged. Like, it was a slow burn, and it was kind of just like, you know, because of their like mutual love for their kids that their hearts opened enough to let each other in. So I
and
really liked it.
Yeah, the little girl was so cute. She was in We Bought a Zoo.
Yeah.
If any of you saw that. And she was very cute, but not like annoying cute. Like she was just cute. And they had, speaking of like disastrous special effects, when there's that attack of the swan.
Yeah.
That was really bad. But I didn't care about that. It doesn't bother me. But it was funny. And I actually did kind of buy the ending with her like going out and her like, I thought that she had shown herself through the course of the movie to be resilient enough to like actually build her own fire and like, you know, do what she does. Like it felt like, okay, I could see this girl really doing this and really like being, I don't know, just all her decisions I thought were believable.
Yeah. That's the thing about this movie. It seems very believable. I bought everything. I bought everyone's motivation.
So for me, the downsides to this movie, first of all, I feel like it's very similar to Fly Away Home, which is a movie that I just barely reviewed for family movie night. And so maybe that's why I don't know, like it felt lacking to me compared to Fly Away Home, which is so beautiful and so well done. And
I do not love Fly Away Home.
What?
I don't.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think that movie. What?
It's like literally Anna Paquin making that noise for an hour and a half.
Oh, I think that's a beautiful movie about a father and a daughter really coming to a beautiful place in their relationship. I think it's beautifully filmed, beautifully acted. I love it. And so for me, this is not even close to that movie. And so I think that's part of the reason why to me this was lacking, is that I had just reviewed and just seen that movie. Literally I reviewed it this last month on my channel. But then also I didn't feel like they had really good chemistry between Minka Kelly and Jason Lee. And I guess I prefer like in The Beach House when they're all flirty and fun. Like that to me is more what I like than I don't know, there was one scene where they were kind of like cooking together that was really cute. And then the kids come in and kind of break it up. That I really enjoyed. And I didn't hate it, but I definitely prefer Fly Away Home, and I definitely prefer The Beach House over this. So how many crowns did you give this one?
I gave this 4.6 crowns.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I'd give this one 3 crowns for me. So let us know what you think about these 4 films. Where were you at on them? Put it in the comment section or let us know on Twitter or other social media what you think. So we have our recap show on The Good Witch, which we are very excited about, with our friend Georgia Speech. And then we have this weekend on Hallmark Channel, we have the new Daro and Daro movie, which we're very excited about. We both liked the first one quite a bit. So that should be really fun. And then, next week on the podcast, we're going to be talking about the Daro and Daro movies. Make sure you check out that. This week, we had our interview with William Bibiani, where we ranked the Alicia Witt movies. So you definitely want to check that out. We also had this week our 1-year anniversary of us podcasting together and disagreeing on films like The Beach House and Away and Back. And we had a lot of fun with this little clip show that we put together sort of on some of our favorite moments of the last year. And so check that out. That's on the YouTube page. And just make sure you're following us on all our social media, on Hallmarkies Pod on Instagram and on Twitter and everywhere. And you can find us on wherever there's a podcast to be found. You can find us. And so, let us know. And Amber, where can people find you?
As always, I'm at Amber Brainwaves on Twitter, and that's it.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and on YouTube. I just posted my podcast with my friend Trevor from How to Love Comics, all analyzing and dissecting Avengers Infinity War. So I'd love if y'all check that out. That would be great. So lots of fun stuff going on with us, and we will see you all next week. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye, everybody.